the birth of a political tradition. In 1883, baseball was struggling to be seen as a respectable profession rather than a pastime for rowdy taverns. The invitation from President Chester A. Arthur acted as a royal seal of legitimacy for the sport. On April 13th, the Cleveland Forest Cities, a team that wasn't even particularly successful on the field, became the first to ever walk through the White House doors. President Arthur, known as Elegant Arthur for his sophisticated taste, received them in the East Room. By welcoming them, and later the New York Gothams, Arthur wasn't just meeting athletes. He was acknowledging baseball as the national pastime. This set the stage for every championship visit we see today, from the World Series winners to the Super Bowl champions. It was the moment baseball went from a park game to a national institution. John Montgomery Ward, the original power hitter. The 1880s were dominated by pitchers. Balls were soft, used for the entire game, and bats were heavy logs. A home run was a rare miracle. 2 in one game was statistically impossible. On May 3rd, John Montgomery Ward shattered the ceiling. Ward wasn't just an athlete. He was a Columbia Law School graduate and one of the most brilliant minds in sports history. By hitting 2 home runs in a single game against Boston, he proved that the batter could actually overpower the pitcher. This feat was the 19th century equivalent of a 4-home run game today. Ward eventually became a revolutionary, forming the first players' union. But on that day in New York, he was simply the man who proved that power hitting was the future of the game. The shooting at Messer Street grounds. 19th century baseball was a rough environment, but the events of June 28th reached a level of surreal violence. Stadium security was non-existent, and personal grudges often spilled onto the grass. This story plays out like a dark comedy. Cliff Carroll, a player known for being a relentless prankster, decided to drench a man named James Murphy with a water hose. Murphy didn't see the humor. He left, returned with a gun, and waited for the team to exit the field. He opened fire, intending to hit Carroll, but his aim was poor. Instead, the bullet struck teammate Joe Mulvey in the shoulder. In a display of 1880s toughness, Mulvey didn't just survive. He was traded to Philadelphia less than a month later and continued his career as if being shot was just another part of the game. The Chicago Massacre, 31-7. July 3, 1883, saw the Chicago White Stockings, now the Cubs, execute the most lopsided bullying in sports history against the Buffalo Bisons. It was a perfect storm of defensive collapse and offensive obsession. Chicago set a record with 14 doubles that still looks like a typo in the record books. Led by the legendary and controversial Cap Anson, Chicago didn't stop scoring even after the game was clearly won. They racked up 66 at-bats in just 9 innings, physically exhausting the Buffalo outfielders who spent the entire afternoon chasing balls to the fence. It remains one of the most dominant displays of offensive small ball ever recorded, proving that when the White Stockings found weakness, they didn't just win, they obliterated. 5. Tim Keefe, the definition of Iron Man. Independence Day was the biggest day for baseball doubleheaders. But what Keefe did on July 4th went beyond duty. It was superhuman. Tim Keefe of the New York Metropolitans threw 18 innings in a single afternoon. He pitched both ends of a doubleheader, winning both complete games and allowing a combined total of only 3 hits. To put that in perspective, in modern baseball, a pitcher is often pulled if they give up 3 hits in the first 3 innings. Keefe used a primitive version of a changeup that left batters swinging at ghosts. His feat is a haunting reminder of an era where pitchers weren't specialists. They were gladiators who were expected to finish what they started, regardless of the heat or the pain. The legend of Old Hoss Radbourn. On July 25th, Radbourn threw a no-hitter. But that was just a slow day for a man whose endurance became the stuff of myth. Charles Old Hoss, Radbourn earned his nickname through pure, unadulterated grit. His 8-0 no-hitter against Cleveland was a masterpiece of control, but his real legacy lies in his workload. He won 31 games in '82, 49 in '83, and a mind-bending 59 games in 1884. Legend says he would warm up his arm by performing heavy chores, and that by the end of his record-breaking season, he couldn't even lift his arm to comb his hair. He was the first true ace, a man who treated the pitcher's mound like a 9-to-5 job and refused to clock out until the work was done. In a single year, there were heroes, villains, a man who got shot, and another who couldn't comb his hair. That's baseball. That's 1883.